The autumn wind swept through the corridors of Buckingham Palace as Prince William stood by the window, watching the golden leaves fall onto the royal gardens. The world saw a composed future king, calm, noble, prepared, but inside, he simmered. 4 years, he had endured the public jabs, the interviews, the Netflix documentaries, the memoir that tore open royal wounds. His younger brother, Harry, once his closest ally, had become a stranger, worse, an adversary, and Meghan, the Duchess once welcomed with cautious hope, now a symbol of disruption. Yet William said nothing. Silence was his weapon. A quiet storm. The headlines had faded, but the scars remained. What the public didn't know was that William had begun to gather every piece of evidence, every whisper in the halls, every breach of protocol, building a quiet case. Not for justice, not even for truth, but for vengeance. His opportunity was drawing near. King Charles III had grown visibly weaker. The palace had kept it from the press, but William saw it every day. The trembling hands, the unfocused gaze, the lingering cough that grew deeper each week. In the eyes of the council and the Commonwealth, William was already acting king. And so, behind the palace walls, a transformation began. The prince became a strategist. Sir, a voice broke the silence. His advisor, Lord Hafford, entered with a silver folder. We may have something of interest. The Sussexes have been in communication with a media group in Geneva. Encrypted, but our sources flagged it. Possibly a leak in progress. William took the folder, his fingers tightening slightly. He read the first few lines, then closed it gently. His expression didn't change, but Hafford knew. The game had begun. Later that night, William sat in his private study. No aides, no cameras, just him, a fire, and the silence of the monarchy. On the table before him lay two objects, a faded childhood photo of him and Harry at Balmoral, and a sealed envelope marked, restricted, Crown privilege. He stared at them for a long time. Outside, the city of London glittered under the night sky. Inside, the palace was quiet, but beneath that silence power stirred. And for the first time, William allowed himself a whisper, barely audible, yet heavy with promise. They think I've forgiven. Rain trickled down the ancient stone of Windsor Castle, casting gray streaks across the windows as if the building itself mourned the state of the monarchy. Inside the war room, a private chamber known only to the highest echelons of the royal family, Prince William stood before a digital display glowing faintly with intelligence reports. Lord Hafford, flanked by a cyber operations specialist from E5, tapped on a tablet. Lines of intercepted messages appeared on the screen. It's confirmed, Hafford said. Harry and Meghan were in direct contact with a Geneva-based media outlet. A financier with Republican ties has been backing them. It's more than just an interview this time. They're planning a full-scale expose, classified communications, photos, and something more. William narrowed his eyes. What more? The Mi-5 agent hesitated, then pulled up a single, encrypted audio file. It's been filtered through several layers, but we're certain the voice is Harry's. They played the clip. A hushed voice, tense and bitter, greater than. They'll never change. The firm's a machine. We have to show the world what really happens behind the smiles. William's jaw tightened. The room fell silent. He turned his back to them, and walked toward the high window, where the rain blurred the outside world. His shoulders remained straight, his posture regal, but his knuckles whitened as he gripped the edge of the windowsill. He had given Harry time. He had prayed the distance would settle the wounds. But this was betrayal, clear and deliberate, not just against William, but against the crown itself. Destroying the monarchy with words, he muttered. That's his war. Hafford stepped forward carefully. Shall we move forward with your directive? William turned, his expression carved from ice. Do it. Meanwhile, in California, Harry sat in his garden, staring at his phone. Meghan paced beside him. They'll come after us, she said. You know William. He won't let this go unanswered. Harry looked up at her. I'm not afraid of him, not anymore. But in his voice, there was a tremor. The world they thought they had left behind was reaching out again, not with affection, but with precision and power. And it wouldn't knock, it would strike. Back in London, William watched the rain lift slightly. The skies were clearing. A perfect day for shadows to move. In the Royal Archives, a locked room was open for the first time in decades. Inside were records, raw, unedited, dangerous. By the time night fell, William had already selected 3 files and placed them in a red folder marked Dominus. They were ready for release. Not to the press, not yet. First, to allies, Parliament, the Archbishop, trusted hands. He didn't want revenge to look like revenge. He wanted it to look like duty. The streets of London were bathed in amber as dusk fell over the capital. But inside Clarence House, a quieter, heavier conversation unfolded. Prince William sat with Queen Camilla, her expression unreadable as he slid the red folder marked Dominus across the polished table. She opened it without speaking. Her eyes scanned the first page, and then the second. By the third, her breath caught. These are sealed transcripts, she said at last, her voice low. William nodded slowly. From royal councils, from private sessions with my father. I made copies years ago for protection. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to follow and share as much as possible.